Hey, what's up everybody? This is DuckloadRa here with a great best of 3. This is from the Blizzcon 2010 Invitational. We have DuckloadRa, aka WhiteRa, versus NEXGenius. These were the losers bracket finals. They were unfortunately not able to cast them at the actual tournament. They were having some sort of technical issue, but fear not, for I am here to show you this game that has been lost to the annals of time. Like I said, this was the losers bracket finals, so the winner of this game would go on to the grand finals and a chance to face against Loner for the ultimate prize of ultimate awesomeness. And the loser, of course, third place isn't too bad. So both players are in a great position at this point. WhiteRa spawning here as the red Protoss in the southwest corner, and Genius spawning as the blue Protoss in the northeast corner. I'll do my best not to get them mixed up because they are, both, of course, the same race. This is a mirror match, Protoss versus Protoss. Been criticized quite a bit as kind of a stale matchup because it tends to turn into a whole bunch of Colossus fighting each other, and whoever has the most Colossus wins. But as mirror matches go, it's still pretty fun to watch. So we see a standard, actually not standard, we see a 12 gate coming out from Genius, sacrificing just that little bit of economy in the early game, sending out his probe at about the same time. In fact, it looks like they're going to high five, bump into each other as they pass the Ursadak calf right here in the center of the map. Yeah, a little bit of an earlier gateway for Genius there. It looks like, yeah, it's just a little bit ahead of WhiteRa's. WhiteRa going for this assimilator on, looks like about 14. And Genius doing the same thing as well, getting this pylon up. Second pylon, yep. Very normal. Very normal opening from both players at this point. Doing a little bit of scouting action, both probes just poking around in each other's base, want to see everything they possibly can. Cybercore going down for Genius, and looky here, Cybercore for WhiteRa as well. Obviously these two players are both of very high caliber, and we'll probably be seeing, if I can open up the production tab here, you can look and see just how close they are and everything except the probe number. Looks like WhiteRa is actually pulling slightly ahead in the probe count, probably due to that 12 gate instead of the 13 gate or 14 gate as is normally done by Genius up here, but still not the biggest of deals. We see a second assimilator coming up for Genius. Is WhiteRa taking his? No, does not look like he's taking it yet. Instead opting to get this second gateway up very quickly. No second gateway from Genius yet, so it looks like he's going to be going for a very tech-oriented build, or perhaps some sort of one-gate expand. But with that second assimilator, I would not be surprised to see... Oh no, a second gateway, so I guess he just feels like he needs the extra gas. Probably wants to just get a whole bunch of stalkers out very early. Very important unit in Protoss versus Protoss. Second gateway just now finishing for WhiteRa. As I've tried to say a few times now, both players have been playing very well in this tournament. Obviously, to be able to get to the losers bracket finals, both of these guys had to beat a whole lot of very good players to get to this point. As WhiteRa kills off the scouting probe, finally, that's been plaguing him in his main here. Genius obviously is a very good Protoss player. He's been doing very well in the GSL over in Korea. Looks like WhiteRa dropping down a proxy pylon here. Very standard WhiteRa move to try and sneaky hide everything everywhere that he can. WhiteRa obviously playing very well in this tournament as well. A lot of people have been kind of worried about him for a while because he hadn't really been doing very well in some of the tournaments. He didn't. He got knocked out, I believe, first or second round at MLG DC, and did not do too well in IEM Cologne either. But showing an excellent showing in this tournament. Obviously had time to do a whole bunch of practicing or something. I don't know. Maybe his wife finally let him play as much as he needed to keep his edge. So WhiteRa is poking around here. Looks like he might want to drop something up here. I don't know. There's a pylon right there, dude. Why are you? Whatever. So we see 3 gates coming up from Genius up here. And it looks like a RoboBay going down. 3 gates from WhiteRa as well. No RoboBay just yet. Like I was saying earlier, Colossus tends to be a very important unit in Protoss versus Protoss. So Genius getting this robotics facility up a little bit earlier. Oh yeah, there goes WhiteRa's robotics facility just now starting. That's going to be huge for the overall flow of the game. If Genius can start getting up those Colossi sooner. Probably why he ended up taking that second assimilator so early. He was able to build himself up a little bit of a stockpile of gas, so as soon as this Robo Bay finishes, he should be able to drop down that, excuse me, as soon as this Robo Facility finishes, he should be able to drop down the Robo Bay right away and get that going so he can get those Colossus up in a hurry. WhiteRa going for a very stalker heavy. Both players honestly going for a very stalker heavy focus at this point, but WhiteRa with a lot more stalkers. We see 7, oh no, maybe I'm just miscounting, 7 stalkers from WhiteRa, 6 for Genius, so, and just a couple of zealots. So it looks like Genius wow, Genius is doing better on all counts. He has 2 more probes, he has an observer out, he has more of an army, it looks like. Maybe not. It looks like WhiteRa finally caught up on with all these zealots down here, which are unfortunately not doing him any good way down there. Not sure why he warped them in down there instead of warping them in up here. Maybe was worried about some sort of missed force fields there by Genius. Just letting all these stalkers get away. That would have been huge if he'd landed those in just the right position. Observer poking around for Genius here, not seeing much of anything just because the army is kind of wandering around still. Couple more zealots warping in. Both players just look like they're trying to get ready. There's the Robo Bay. I always want to call both of them the Robo Bay, but there's the Robo Bay finally finishing for WhiteRa, getting that extended range finished, extended range going, I should say, and trying to start up this Colossi. But it looks like he was a little bit supply blocked there for a minute, and there it goes. If we look back at the production tab, both players now, looks like WhiteRa is a little bit ahead on the extended thermal lance, but Genius will be getting this first Colossus out much sooner. Looking at I'm trying to remember the tab that I'm trying to find here. Resources tab, there we go. Looks like they're sitting at fairly even. WhiteRa at 69 food and Genius at 70. And WhiteRa just now catching back up, so very even overall. This is going to be a very close match. I'm going to keep an eye on the unit counting station here, excuse me, the production station here, just to keep an eye on what they're doing. Both players right now starting their expansion. Looks like WhiteRa poking around a little bit here. Wants to make sure there isn't anything sneaky around in his base. This has been a very calm match so far. Both players just want to sit back, get as many Colossi up as they can. Which looks to be actually really even at this point. They're going to be even on the Colossi count, and want to make sure they can get as much of that going as possible before they really commit to any sort of attack. WhiteRa's extended thermal lances is just now finishing, but Genius's is not far behind, and on their their second Colossi, they are almost exactly even on when those are going to be finished. This pylon is still here for WhiteRa. Looks like, oh, is he going to see it? Oh, he just barely sees it with that one Colossus right there, and he's going to take out that pylon finally. It's been sitting there for a long time. Didn't really get a whole lot of use out of that from WhiteRa, and in fact, that cuts him really close on his supply count. Is he actually? No, he is actually still able to start working on this next Colossus. And of course, Genius being very good with this observer, keeping an eye on everything. He's going to be able to move into position ahead of time. Ooh, takes a couple of shots there, but wisely just backs off. He knows that that is not an attack he wants to get himself involved in at this point. More and more stuff coming out from both sides at this point. It looks like the Colossus count is up to 3 for Genius and just now 3 for WhiteRa. So Genius starting to pull ahead a little bit in that Colossus count. And moving out here with this big army, he's gonna actually move out. Looks like he's just swinging around a little bit. Wants to get in good position for that. If he sits over here and WhiteRa chooses to move in, which he's doing right now, he can cut him off from behind and do a whole ton of damage. This is very bad positioning for WhiteRa. Genius moving in with a ton of stuff from behind, catching those Colossi. Oh man, this one Colossus up front is out of shields. The other one in the back doing... Oh my god, I love watching Colossus battles. Everything in the middle is just completely dying. Holy cow. Yeah, that positioning by Genius was able to do so much damage. All of WhiteRa's Colossi are gone at this point. Looks like he's mopping up the rest of everything. And WhiteRa's force is completely gone at this point. Genius is moving in, and there's a GG from WhiteRa, just completely GGing out. His entire force was gone at that point. Nothing he could do, just had to quit out. Nothing he could do to push off against this force of, I mean, what are you going to do against 4 Colossi when all you have is probes, 36 probes. You even have less probes than your opponent. So great play by Genius. That swing around behind definitely won him that fight in the middle. So we're going to be going into game 2. Definitely check that out coming up right after this.